let's try that again. So I hope everybody is doing well. My name is Tori, and I am Avalon Enchanted. So I have been coming on every so often, usually every few weeks, just to kind of give us an energy update. Right now, certainly, we have a lot of stuff going on, not only energetically, but also with the elections, as well as planetary speaking as well. A lot of stuff. We're in Mercury retrograde, a lot of planets that are squaring off, etc. So, a lot of people may have been feeling off. A lot of people may have been feeling overwhelmed. Um, Communications, especially with Mercury retrograde, definitely gets um, tied up very easily. So I wanted just to kind of do a quick update with that process. So I am a tarot reader, as well as some other things that I do. I also do I'm also a physical medium, which means that I work with spirit to provide physical phenomena in order to be able to connect you with your loved ones, your friends and family, your pets, spirit guides, as well as ascended masters. So I actually work with on a couple of centers here throughout Rhode Island and Massachusetts, as well as offer tarot readings online, occasionally in person, but with everything going on with COVID, majority of what I do is actually online. I also teach classes, metaphysical classes. So we're in the process of wrapping up an intensive tarot class, which we will be running again. And there's some other exciting things that I also will be rolling out too, as well as my tarot classes. There'll be some crystal classes, I think, as well as some coaching. So we're going to be actually working with coaching as well and providing people an opportunity to be able to really allow themselves to broaden their horizons, explore who they are, and really develop their ways and their processes. The program for coaching is actually called Alchemize, and I'll talk a little bit more about that another day. But I did want to just come on here and mention some things and do this energy forecast. So the other thing also, as you see my crown, I also make handcrafted crystal crowns, which are available. There is an Etsy store online through Etsy. It's actually Avalon Enchanted Shop, and there are a number of different crowns available, as well as oils that I also make. I make moldavite oil. I also make a Merlin meditation oil. Also an illumination oil, which is great for new beginnings, new ideas, when you're in the process of trying to create a spark in order to really get the ground or get the project moving. So people who are looking to try new things, people who are looking to try maybe a new career, or a new opportunity, this is a great oil to work with. It's a meditation oil. I also have an Awen oil, which is connected to the Celtic tradition. I actually follow a Welsh Celtic tradition, working with goddess. So that's also very exciting. It is very much tied into Ceridwen, who is one of the main Welsh goddesses, and the spark of Awen is creation and information to come out of the cauldron. So a lot of it's used with ceremonial magic, as well as working with connecting with the goddesses. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything started, and we're going to do this reading. And if you have any questions, by all means, certainly let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. I do ask, though, that you do like my YouTube page. I'm also available on Facebook at Avalon Enchanted. I also have Avalon Community, which is a great community page. And I hope that you'll also check out my website, which is avalonenchanted.com. My calendar is actually up on my Facebook page for events. It's also up on my website as well, for different events that are coming up. And there'll be more events coming up for November, December, And I think I'll also be launching some events coming up in January. I'll be making those announcements soon. So a lot going on. So right now, like I said, I'm just in the process of shuffling. I'm just going to angle the camera down just a smidge so that way you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing here, shuffling. Granted, I'm cutting off my head, but we want to be able to see what's going on. I'll angle this up in a second. So again, my website is avalonenchanted.com. And again, I please ask that you like my Facebook page, Avalon Enchanted, and you also like the page here on YouTube. So that way you can be tuned in for when I do post videos and have different events that are going on through YouTube. So we're going to be doing more with that. That is the plan, to allow people to have more access to some programming, to more group readings like this that are more for the collective and things of that nature. All right. All right, so we have the Three of Hearts, which is what's going on. Like I said, this is a reading that is really for the collective and just allowing us to kind of get a better idea energetically going into the final, well, we are in the final week of October and going into the first week of November, which also includes Election Day on the 3rd. We also have the Ace of Swords. In the past, we have the Seven of Wands, Queen of Wands underneath, the Magician. In front, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, excuse me, Queen of Cups. Ace of Wands. My God, we have a lot of Pentacles. We have a lot of Wands. We have a lot of new beginnings, a lot of new opportunities that are coming in. The Lovers. Two of Swords. And the Star. So when I actually do a reading, I usually do a reading and take a look at the overall picture of what's going on. And when I'm doing a personal reading for people, I'll do an overall view. I may ask questions to people just to kind of get a better idea in terms of how things are fitting into place because of what I'm seeing and what I'm getting intuitively. And then if people have questions, I usually throw down extra cards. So that's kind of how my philosophy tends to work with my tarot reading. So overall, I know that people are really just kind of over everything that's going on. We have really at a really important time right now where we have a lot of energy that's definitely floating around. A lot of what's been going on has definitely been causing, I know a lot of people are just turned off by it. They're aggravated. And in many times, the Three of Swords can definitely be something that's just aggravating. And then we have the Ace of Swords coming in. So this is a new beginning. This is something that's coming in for people, new options, new opportunities. And overall, we have Ace of Pentacles, which is above us. And this is really allowing us to show that there's going to be some opportunities that are coming in and that there is a lot of hope. There are going to be some things that are coming in where we may feel like we have to kind of find our feet. And we do have to take some time. But I do feel like there is going to be a shift. Here's the Magician. We have the shift with the Magician, usually the Magician is someone that is in the process of working on something new. There is a lot of hope. And this card, the Fool, is also a new beginning, a new journey. So I do feel like overall the US is going to be kind of allowing themselves to start this new journey. There are going to be some things where things are going to need to be figured out along the way. But I do feel like they're going to be fractions that are, or I should say, segments of the population that really do still feel divided and they don't know what direction to go in. So unfortunately, I do feel like there's going to be a situation where people are going to feel like nobody's a winner. And it's going to take time, excuse me, for people to really find their feet underneath them and allow themselves to kind of work through things. I do feel like there is going to be a change in government. I do feel like there's going to be a new resident in the White House. I do feel potentially that can be good, but I also feel potentially there's going to be a learning curve, and that can be bad. People who have definitely been on, excuse me, this roller coaster of COVID, and maybe have felt like they didn't matter. I think they're going to be really excited, but also I feel like the people that are I'm going to use the phrase in dire straits, it's going to take time for them in order to allow themselves to really start to feel more like they're back on solid ground. Okay. And I'm really feeling like there is the need to be grounded. I'm feeling that, excuse me, coughing. I think a lot of it has to do with overall communication and not necessarily that energy wanting this message out, which does happen from time to time. I feel like the next week or so, I'm going to say the next week and a half, I'm going to call this, we have options in terms of how we view things. And I really feel like there is going to be the need for things literally to come back together, allow things, the rifts that have generated to put our differences aside and to literally come back to the table, come back together, allow ourselves to come back to humanity. I feel like a lot of everything has really spun out of control, and it has spun out of control quickly, and it's caused a lot of fragments. It's caused a lot of chaos. It's caused a lot of mistrust. And I feel like it's caused a lot of chaos and mistrust on both sides, whether you're Democrat, whether you're Republican, whether you're in the middle. There's definitely a lot of mistrust in terms of what's going on now versus what the next steps are. So I do feel that that is something that people do need to kind of remind themselves of, that as a whole, we do need to come to terms in terms of moving forward. I always view that when we are working, we're working in a spiral and we're always moving forward. So with that being said, I feel like both sides do need to kind of come together and work together in order to create this opportunity to allow people to progress, to allow people to be on solid ground, to allow people to literally develop the hope that potentially is available for us. But it's going to take time. I almost feel like potentially with what's going on in terms of a transition, there are going to be some pitfalls. And I am saying that, so I don't want people to feel like they're going to take it as being completely overwhelmed with it. I feel like there's definitely, especially with what we're talking about with the White House, I feel like the whole part of the transition is going to take, it's going to be an uphill battle. I feel like anything that can be thrown in to kind of create a monkey wrench into things in terms of the transition is going to happen. And I feel like the new regime that comes in is going to need to take time to kind of unwind what's been literally matted up and woven together. And I do feel that it will happen, but it's going to require both sides. So there is going to be the need for tolerance. There is going to be the need for conversation, listening. I'm hearing in particular listening not only to yourselves, but also listening to each other. And I feel like that is going to be something that really helps people determine how we're going to proceed, how we're going to proceed as a state here in Rhode Island, how we're going to proceed as a country, how we're going to proceed as a world, we got to definitely bring the humanity back. So I think there are going to be people that are just going to really require some time, and I feel like it's going to be one of those things where they have to sit with it. So I am going to encourage people to really make sure that they are able to really put their listening ears on, not to sound like a kindergarten teacher, but we do really need to make sure that we are being open and listening to both sides. There are going to be some people that are definitely going to feel stuck, that are going to take longer in order to allow themselves the opportunity to be willing to work with both sides, to find that balance. I really feel that November into December is all about finding that balance and is all about allowing us to really kind of take these opportunities to bring things back together. I'm not necessarily take steps backwards, but I'm saying kind of reposition everything, reel things back in to how we're able to communicate, how we're able to be kind to one another, how we're able to be kind and be human. Okay. I feel like we've been all talking at each other, and it's caused people a lot of distrust and a lot of harm. Okay. Um, Literally, the world card is about cycles, and I feel like it's just going to have to take some time for sometimes for some of these individuals who maybe might have a lot of mistrust with it, how everything has been going, to allow themselves to find common ground and to work together. I really feel like the next big step, once everything is unraveled, is about working together. I feel like there is going to be a shift that's going to cause people to be and to stop being the us against them. And I feel like there's going to be a need to kind of be a we, okay? A we, an us in order to help humanity, and us in order to help the planet. Okay, I feel that's going to be something that is really big. And until we really kind of get that us together, there's still going to be this chaos. So it is going to take some time. Again, I am going to say though, I am hopeful that this trust, that this coming together is going to happen. I do feel though that it is just going to take a little bit of time. So I am going to say that people do need to be hopeful. People do need to be realizing that, taking a leap of faith, and just realizing that humanity, together, if we work together, we're able to do some great things. Okay. So again, I'm going to take one other card here, and I have the Two of Cups. So I really feel like literally it's a coming together of things. So the hopefulness is great. The coming together is allowing us to really take time to really bring everything together, to bring everything in, to communicate, to collaborate. 2021, try that again. 2021, I think, is going to be a year about collaboration. And I feel like there are going to be some disclosures. I also feel like there's going to be some connections that are going to come out that are around the disclosures. I almost feel like there are going to be different countries that are going to be working together on releasing some of these disclosure things. Okay. I almost feel like this individuality, I'm not saying individuality is bad, because I definitely feel individuality is good, but I feel like when we're all kind of pulling our energies all in different directions, we're not necessarily getting anywhere. Okay. When I'm doing table tipping, which is a form of physical mediumship, sometimes I will get different spirits that are like, I want to talk. No, I want to talk. And when that happens, nothing gets done and the table doesn't move. So I feel like unless we are hopeful, and unless we connect and really, really focus on bringing things together, we're not going to get anywhere. It's like until that happens, we're kind of in a holding pattern. So I do feel like there really is the need for trust. There really is the need to kind of rebuild that bridge. And I think that it will happen. We just really got to really trust and kind of put ourselves into the place where we're doing this collectively for the world. So I am going to say, in this situation, people who are intuitive, people who are open, people who are empathic, I ask you to please put your energy out to the world, put your energy out to the universe, put your energy out to Mother Earth, okay? And just allow the loving thoughts, the loving energy to help with shining a light on us and this planet, in order to help focus on bringing in light and love, okay? Because definitely we don't want this. Okay, we want something that's going to allow us to bring in light and love, especially as we are in the process of really raising our vibration. And spiritually speaking, when we're raising our vibration, which I know a lot of people are, those who are not necessarily doing that, I am going to say you are going to find that maybe you don't get quite as many of those messages, or sometimes they might even get a little jumbled. Okay. So when we are speaking the language of light and love, when we're speaking the language of togetherness and focusing collectively on the good of the planet, on the good of humanity, then I think that we're going to have a lot more coming back to us. We're going to have a lot more energetic that will allow us to unlock some of these higher frequencies that are coming in to assist us. So I feel like that is something that we definitely want to keep in the back of our minds. And I feel 2021 is going to be a big year that's going to allow us to do that. However, this is really the bridge. This is really the bridge that is our test in order to pull ourselves together, unite, and to work collectively as a cohesive unit. So when we pull together and we cross that bridge, that test, I feel like we're going to get to the other side and we're going to be in a much better situation. So I am saying make sure that you are putting your loving thoughts into things. Be careful in terms of how you speak to yourself, to others. The energy that potentially, you might be pushing out to people. Pay attention to the energy that's coming into you that you might be feeling from other people. Maybe we need to kind of adjust that. I know with being locked down with COVID, and certainly we have a lot going on where potentially different states are definitely on the uprise. We definitely need to make sure that we're able to really focus on communication. And even if we might not necessarily have an actual physical connection, we still need to have an emotional and mental connection, an energetic connection, especially to our fellow man. Okay. So those are some things to definitely think about. As far as, like I said, the next week and a half, let's focus on bringing in that good energy. Let's focus on putting out that good energy. I think that's going to also help clear a lot of people's overall fears, people's overall maybe emotions. Because right now emotions are running rampant. And I feel like there's a lot of knee-jerk reactions where people might have something said to them and, potentially they're just kind of firing back at the first thing that comes to mind. I know I've done it. I've had it done to me. And I just wanted to say that we're better than that. So putting our energies behind being beings of light and love, putting our energy behind being a cohesive unit for humanity, I think is the next big step. And I feel like it will help us with transitioning moving forward with what we see, not only in the next week and a half with election stuff. And I feel like that's also going to require some craziness that's going to have to be sorted out. So I think that part is really going to take time. So don't get frustrated. Don't get overwhelmed. If you need to take a step back and you need to take a breath, that's okay. You're entitled to do that. It's not going to harm you. No one's going to think any less of you. In this day and age where maybe we are taking on a lot more responsibility, especially as people are working from home, or, maybe some of their job duties have been kind of melded into a bunch of others. Human nature is, yes, I can do it. Sure, no problem. And we overcommit. So I am going to say, make sure that you're being kind to yourself, that you are not overcommitting yourself and not overpromising. And I think we kind of do that to ourselves. I think that's where the ego comes in, where you're like, yes, I can do that. No, you can't. So that part, we definitely need to kind of get that in check and allow ourselves to be realistic and be open and honest with ourselves. When we're open and honest with ourselves, we're then in a much better place to be open and honest with other people. And I feel that is something that is actually really, really important. So I am going to say, allow yourself, especially this next week and a half, and even in the next few weeks, focus on self-care. Focus on being present. Focus on gratitude. You know, we're running around here and there and everywhere, and we're all kind of trying to figure out how we're going to get through maybe the next day, the next hour. Okay? Allow ourselves, it's okay to be kind to ourselves because we're worthy, because we are human beings. And if something is just, too much of a load, then say something to people. Be open and honest. Be open and honest with yourself. Be open and honest with others. So I hope this helps. I hope that we have given you some, I hope I've given you some hope in order to kind of navigate the next week and a half. I'm just going to leave you with this message to really just focus on being open and honest and keep on forwarding the light and love, because the language of light and love carries much further than being angry or depressed or in the dark. Yes, sometimes we do need to do shadow work. Yes, we sometimes do need to get a better handle on, as I like to call it, the deep dark cookies that we've shoved way down deep inside that we don't want to address, whether it be that they're scary, whether it be that they're overwhelming. But in that instance, when we do spend that time in retrospective and focusing on shadow work, and then allowing ourselves to project out to the world and to project out to the universe, we get some great things. So be kind to yourself, take care of one another. And please check out Avalon Enchanted Facebook page. And again, the Avalon Enchanted shop on Etsy. Thanks again. Bye-bye.